Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnik here yet again with a day where Australia has certainly shown something that we didn't expect, especially in terms of centuries to our beloved Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne both got hundreds. The scoreline that, well, let's put it this way, is better than what I thought it was going to be. And I think that Australia should take the hat off to the way they played. They played particularly well. Some early starts from Collage and the like, but effectively it really wasn't innings where Labuschagne and then Smith led the way. Smith got out 109, Labuschagne 103, finally got stumped. So British media have certainly overhyped the baseball. When Baz McCollum doesn't quite know what he's talking about. In all fairness, it isn't a hype, but that's part of the fun. Drop people are saying drop Coley. It's another little phase of this which I'm not happy with. Part of the fun. Drop Coley is a bit of a, I would say, good morning, Demarcius. We've got a lot of people talking about dropping Coley or not re-including him in the side effectively because wasn't included in the last. Let's have a look here. In terms of score, clearly Australia being 5 for 298. They're virtually 300 in the first day, which is a very good effort. We have a guest here, Mosen Sheikh. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you? I'm good.
Good.
And you say? Very good, thank you.
I've got a different back. What shirt are you wearing?
I've got my club shot on, the Toombul one.
What is it? Okay, Bulls. Okay.
Yeah. That's nice. I like the background. You've got the shirts up.
Yeah, I got what I got here. Got Argentina and Tonga's 96 World Cup top, which he actually gave me. It wasn't something purchased at a shop. He actually gave it to me.
Nice.
And then, because would you believe, my ex had it in her wardrobe because he gave it to her many years ago, and she had it lying in the wardrobe. What are you doing with this in the wardrobe? So anyway, and then we got behind me. I got Bradman signed picture, and then there you can't really see it, but that's actually Morley and Shane Warne signed. I got my Sassy Rabbitohs thing as well, but I'm still developing all that. I'll get there eventually. So
that's nice. I wouldn't like it.
A bit better. Yes. Well, Marnus Labuschagne has scored his first away century. He could easily have been out. Norris and Dickwell missed a stumping, which he eventually got.
And bottom edge as well. That went between the glove keeper's pad, so that's another opportunity. But you ride your luck, and Steve Smith, all of a sudden, he's in the 28s as well, one behind Bredman. So there's a lot of talk about him now getting on roll, which I like to see. You know, the top batters, you want to see them scoring runs. You want to see Steve Smith scoring runs. You want to see Kohli scoring runs. You want to see Babar Azam scoring runs. You want to see Root scoring runs. It's good for cricket. It's good for Test cricket because people have been praised and been talked about all their career for a long time. And all of a sudden, you know, the cricket needs the icons. So I like the icons to stay in the eyes because it's good for young upcoming players, and also for the audience that, you know, they have the guys who are scoring runs, and they can have a following. Like, you know, I remember when we did with Steve Waugh, Mark Waugh, Dean Jones, you know, we always Javed Mirdad, we always wanted these guys to score runs. So yeah, it's great.
Well, I mean, it does sound a loud call from Kohli to actually score, and Williamson.
Absolutely, I agree. I think now it's Kohli and Williamson's turn to get a bit of form.
Look, apparently, Labuschagne and Smith went about a lot of training on these wickets to try and judge pace, bounce, and the like, and not to go so forward. Yeah, so it's interesting. They seem to really work hard.
Exactly, and the method that Aussies have used this tour is sweeping. If you see, everyone has come out and started sweeping hard. And the two areas they've swept is one is to sweep to mid wicket and then hard sweep to deep square leg. So they've used the two lines, which is one is outside their eye line, they've swept it to mid wicket, and one that is straight into the body, that is mid and leg stump, they've swept it hard behind square. And that has actually made the bowlers to bowl differently and countering the spin as well. When they use the feet, that's where I think Sri Lanka missed the opportunities because they haven't been very confident in using the feet, apart from Uzi. Even Uzi last Test match, you see, he walked out, the ball spun past him, and the stumping chance was missed. So I think that's the area that Aussies will work on before they go to India. But I think that's where Sri Lanka has missed the opportunity in terms of taking. I know it's very tough. That pitch, if people know that pitch, it is really hard to keep because it turns a mile, it stays up and low. And on day one, it's dusty as well. So it's harsh to say that keepers miss the opportunity because it is really tough to keep on. But that's, I think, where Sri Lanka have missed the opportunities when Aussies are stuck to the crease and they've used sweep really well.
Now, Charlotte today has given a comparison there, and I can see why he's done it, and I appreciate it. But when someone tells me we missed both areas of Steve Smith's batting, it's his own fault. I'm afraid it's his own fault. It's not we were hard on him. He and Warner deserved exactly what they did, and I haven't got any statement to say.
I don't think any other way. I don't think any other way, Norman. I agree 100%. It's no one else to blame but themselves. And then post the ban when he came back in the Ashes as well, he was not himself. So I'm glad that he scored his 100, got the monkey off the bat. But the thing with Root is Root was always labelled of scoring 50s. He was 13, 14 behind these guys. These guys were on 27 for last 3 years, and Root was on 14 or 1500s. So you got to think about that as well. That 3 years, these Kohli and Smith were sitting on 27. They had 3 years on Root. They should have been sitting on 40, or close to 40, because that's how hard work that Root has put into his game. In last year and a bit, he scored 1400. So you've got to give that credit to Root. I know people labelled him a lot in England and in international media that he can't convert his 50s into hundreds, and that was the case. But now you look at his transformation in the last 2 years; it's amazing, and that's what I'm disappointed that both Kohli and Smith should have carried on and be sitting at high 30s at least.
Look, I know I'm going to jump on head again, but both these test matches has done nothing. Okay, got 4 wickets. It's irrelevant because that's not his job. His job is to bat, and he hasn't done it both, right? And we can hide him as much as we like, but his up and down nature, like he plays badly for something like that. I don't like that. Something's not right for me, and I agree with what Sam said there. I don't think he should go side. I really prefer to have.
I think that spot is open. We've spoken about this previously as well when Australia toured Pakistan. I think that spot, that batting spot, is still open. I know from the feeling that we've seen last couple of Test matches, Aussies want to slide Maxwell in there before India. I think or even at India tour come next year, they will like to slot in Maxi in that spot, which is not a bad move. He can bowl his off spins and he can whack the ball, and he's in good form at the moment. So not a bad move, but in Australian conditions, whether they will go with someone else, I think they need to look beyond head, especially keeping next Ashes in mind, which is a big preparation for Aussies. So I think Head's position, I agree, is not cemented.
Now, they also talked about Emil. It looks as though he's been playing badly for a number of series. He played badly in the West, and now he didn't look good. So they gave me one more chance. Look, I guess they're pretty tough on him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think cricket is hard. It is hard sport. It is now with a lot of money, a lot of media. You get scrutinized quite a lot, and that's why we're talking about Heads already. Now he's in that winning team. He might be slotting in and we might be hiding in, but in reality, if the team's not winning, Head's not playing. That's simple as that, and that's what's happening with Sri Lanka. They're not winning. So they've got to make changes to try and different combinations, try and bring different guys in and play different roles. So it sounds harsh, but the reality of cricket is it's not friendly anymore. It's very very honesty checking in every play.
Now, Samuel says he sort of had Heads, Try Renshaw. I think he should have been dropped in the first place. Nick Madison had a baptism of fire when he first came in. Quite split it. Hunt, I don't have enough of him, so I can't comment.
No, Hunt is a good little cricketer. He's originated from Canberra, from youth ages, and moved to Adelaide. He's been a good operator in the last couple of years. He's had a good A series. So I caught up with Renshaw the night before, and he had a good praise for him as well. So I think this next coming year and a bit, I think be interesting how they fill the spot that Heads carrying, two, how Alex Carey continue to cement his spot, because I think there's a pressure on him as well. Green, we know that he's a long-term solution, and then with the openers, I think they'll stick with Uzi and Warner till the Ashes, I think, and then post Ashes we can look at Hunt and other options, I suppose.
Khawaja, I was trying to Smith before Smith, I get that. But yet again, the way Khawaja started this inning, set the platform, and he, to me, I believe he's the most important batsman in the side now. No matter how well this innings, I maintain that Khawaja's
Absolutely, 100%. 800 plus runs already this year, so he's this season, if I say so, he's already one guy that to me is most impressive and in form at the moment.
He's not young. Warner is certainly either. What do you think about Warner?
I think Warner, again, he needs to score those hundreds. That I think what Smith has got now, that will give him that confidence of batting for long. I think he'll come back today and try and make as much as possible of this start, that he's got that 100 off the back. I think Warner's in a similar situation. He hasn't scored big. Once he get that innings, I think Warner post Ashes, I don't see him playing Test match or at least 2020 cricket. But if he wants to concentrate on Test cricket, he's probably got another couple of years. And if he has a good Ashes, he will carry on. If he's had bad Ashes, he can pull up the pin as well. So I don't see that urge and that burning desire that we could see in Warner a few years ago. I think the career is on a twilight, and the scores are not backing him up at the moment. The way he started in first Test, if you look at his dismissal, the way he started aggressively, wanted to take on, and then he played a silly shot. He got a good ball in first inning, you've got to give that, but then it's something is not right. Something is just not clicking, that he gets good quick 20s, 30s, and then whether it's a lapse of concentration or whether he's just he's just not there 100%. So it could be one or the other.
We've got lots of people. The bastards talk about other countries have Warner and to play their winner of the year. Well, doesn't matter. It happened. His playing Silicon Head is good, but with subcontinent struggles, I agree. I think we should have better already. Warner has a score century 19. Yep. subcontinent. I think Josh English and Matt Renshaw are very good options. Look, I think Matt Renshaw is never one to be dropped. I still can't. What actually happened there? Because didn't he get a century before he was dropped?
He did. He got a big 100 against Pakistan as well, and then he had a couple of low scores, and then that time he got rotated and dropped. So he then went back, made a couple of changes in his batting. I know Ian, his father, as well. So they worked really hard, and that's when he moved from Brisbane Heat to go ahead lead strikers as well. So he's in his mind at the moment. He's very clear in what he wants to do. He plays for Toombul as well, for the same club that I'm coaching. So he is in a very good headspace at the moment, and that's reflecting in his domestic runs as well. No matter white ball, no matter red ball, he's doing well. I think he's ready to come back into the limelight, and that's why they took him to the Sri Lanka A series as well. So I think he will be amongst the boys that they will look going forward. Whether they'll make a rapid change for this summer or not, but I think heads definitely is the spot that is open for me, whether it is subcontinent or no subcontinent. He scored that one big 100 in Sydney, and then since then he's been lean. I think he got a few runs in Pakistan, but not. But everyone got runs in Pakistan. You can't judge Pakistan pitches.
I just to digress from it, the T20 World Cup. They had the 100 days to go, the tour of the trophy. Incredible countries like Finland, New Guinea, Germany. I mean, I appreciate they want to get around the world, but I'm not sure. I mean, New Guinea, they do play cricket, yes, but Finland? What's it going to Finland for?
Just expats there. That's where they're trying to build the interest. I know Germany, they've got a lot of expats. I know a couple of friends who've got families in Germany, and they try and play whatever social league they're trying, or try and organize some cricket there. There's a lot of expats in Europe, so and they love their cricket, as you know.
Well, I mean, in Germany, I played cricket there for 4 or 5 years. Back in the early 90s, I actually played. We toured Italy, and I think I told you this. We called ourselves Germany, but we weren't. And we played against a team which was Italy, and it was coached by Martin Crowe. We played in a place called Ispra. We had a guy that looks like Boris Becker. It was from England, actually. He was there. So we had a really good side. That was back in the early 90s. I'll never forget it. We played at a ground called Englischer Garten, which is English Garden, in Munich. And it was, I remember one German guy bowled. He hooped the ball, these big end swingers. He had this action, this almost Maxi Walker, like the ball used to hoop in. And we go, how do you do that? It's incredible. But no, I don't know if Finch retiring. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if Finch will have a good cup. If he continues to play well, he'll continue. But if the situation, again, what I was saying with Warner, if he has a bad cup, he cannot score runs, he will retire himself. The culture here in Australia is quite different to other teams. People need to understand, especially in subcontinent, they drag their careers a long, long time. Here in Australia, when a lot of guys, there's plenty of examples. Guys will finish off when they think they cannot go any further, and there's no milestone coming up. They'll give up. Even milestone coming up. Gilchrist's example: 96 Test matches. He could have dragged himself another 4 Test matches to get 100 Test match. He didn't. He retired. Michael Clark, he was mid-30s. He retired. So people in
he also had 30 well,
that's obviously true. That's true. But he could have had another couple of years in Aussie team. But people here do retire when they feel time's up. And I feel if Finch, Smith, and Warner, they might put their kit up for T20. I don't see Smith playing T20 beyond the cup.
I don't think Smith will be the T20 World Cup. Smith just sold a place he bought for 6. He flipped it for 12 million. Warner's still building. I drove past it yesterday. Still building that bloody Colossus in South Woodby. Costing an enormous amount of money. Still not finished. It's been 60 years.
Yeah,
what's going on?
I don't know. It's a long time, and there's a lot of media about that the house is building and whatnot. So I think it's coming up to what 5-6 years, Norman.
At least 6 years.
6 years. That's right. So it's a long time that place is getting built, and I'm sure as soon as it gets built, it will get a lot of media as well on it.
Well, his wife is now working on radio, television here in Sydney. And I don't think it's a matter of needing money, but maybe something's going on that we don't know. Who knows? Okay. So, Alan Morgan, yeah, he probably was pretty into the right thing. Marsh the best option. He's up nice World Cup. Marsh. Hang on, look at this phone.
It'd be interesting to watch the Red Bull.
Okay. So, what is Marsh is the best option? He is World Cup captain. Mitchell Marsh.
White ball, yes. Red ball, I think Green is taking the spot of all-rounder. I think Green is first choice all-rounder for the red ball cricket. I don't see Marsh obviously coming through with some of the injuries as well and getting the mindset right. I think good white ball option, but you probably have to wait behind Green now.
Okay. Pat Cummins is not going to be captaining any short form. I'm pretty sure. He's made that decision.
Yeah.
So Australia has 3 testing in South Africa, 4 in India. Yeah, but they've also got West Indies as well, I think.
I think they've got West Indies to start the
Or Pakistan. West Indies.
Pakistan playing T20 triangle in New Zealand. Then Australia got the Test series, and then finish off T20s in Australia. So Pakistan will play in Australia, just the white ball. But I think before South Africa, we've got West Indies for a couple of Test matches.
So the game's still a few minutes away.
Yeah, just a few minutes away.
Funny how we start Echo again.
Yeah, the thing is already there's a lot of runs on board. Sri Lanka will have to bat out of their skin to get close to what Aussies will finish, because now what they're 298 already, and Smith's still batting. You've got Carey batting as well. So you think that Australia might get another quick 100 on top of that. So that's 400 runs that might be looking at. Sri Lanka got a few wickets towards the end of the day. If they can polish them off at like below 350, I think they'll still be in the game. But if Australia scores 400 from here, I think Sri Lanka will have to bat really well, because remember they will have to bat fourth last inning as well. So it's incredibly going to be tough batting fourth on this pitch.
I'm afraid I keep falling apart. I really, after what we saw in Galle first up, and they've not changed the batting line. One change, Benajay was actually a loss. I think he's a good player. I don't know close to it. Quite frankly, they haven't changed the batting line at all.
No. And that's the thing we spoke about before the Test series, Norman. If you remember, I said I like Sri Lanka to stay competitive. I know they'll probably lose, but it'd be good for Sri Lankan cricket itself that they stay competitive, because that's when you can see that they are on a mend. But they haven't been competitive in first test. They haven't been competitive this innings. So let's see if they can turn it around this morning.
Yeah. And they completely had to change their bowling line entirely. And that's not where they lost the first match. They're batting for it. So I'm not sure they got it right. And the women's team, Nilakshi just saw run over very well. She got 48 in the last innings, batting superbly. She actually outstripped Atapatsu, but there's something really wrong there.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
So here we go. Ram Arani says, "Hi, looking good. Hi, Norman, not looking so good." You want to come on air and say that to me?
Hi, Bram. How are you? Has he moved yet? Is he still in transition?
I invited him around. Maybe he looks not looking good. He's terrible, probably got a big fork up his nose.
I think he was moving countries, wasn't he, for his job? He was moving places, so...
Places that they moved. Well, it's a Saturday. I'm sure they're working Saturdays. He's just lazily lying in bed there, picking his nose. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, what about you, mate? Exactly. What about you, mate? Exactly. Ram ready. Pitch is good for batting. Bowling better. Okay, that's true.
Mhm.
Pitch.
Yeah.
I stand on fire. No, stop having these private conversations. So we've got 4 minutes.
4 minutes to
Steve
go.
Smith. I mean, as long as he's got partners.
What's your prediction? How do you think Sri Lanka coming back after the day ones? I wouldn't say a complete control of Aussies, because Sri Lanka did come back well post T. But what do you think? How are they going to start?
What do you mean?
Sri Lanka, how would they start? How would they go about this game? Would they go defensive or continue to attack?
I think they'll go. They should continue to be. Well, this is their bloody home ground. I mean, batsmen like Angela Matthews, Sunnymal, Roshan Dickwella, they're not born in Galle necessarily, but they are very well aware of this ground. Those three elder statesmen of the sport should be taking charge. They're all capable of scoring big. And Australians bowling is not that good. They did well in the first test, yes. Surely, if they were working as hard as what Lanka and Smith were in the nets, getting a leg spin bowler similar to Stretford bowling with, they'd have his measure. And Nathan Lyon's not doing any differently than any other Sri Lanka bowler would do. There's no reason why those guys have scored well. They put their mind to it and not be necessarily overly attacked, but the way they normally can. I've still maintained that Roshan Dickwella should bat high in the order, because he always runs out of partners. If you let the guy go, he's capable of learning. He loves these. Although I'm surprised with his keeping. He kept low, with the ball notably spinning, and constantly, he worked out in the end. He took the stumping of Labuschagne. He was up high, but he was way too low. The ball's hitting him here. He should know better than anything to be standing up and getting in position earlier than he does.
And if you remember hearing Brad Haddon's comment as well, he was, for spinners, he was coming up too early, and that's where the opportunities slipped by, because his hands were nowhere near the ball. Because if he would have stayed lower, there was like a couple of edges. I know the under edges, you harsh on keeper when you say they dropped it, but notably his hands are up before the balls come up, because that's a basic thing as a keeper. You come up with the ball rather than you go up before the balls come up. So I think there's something not right. But in terms of his batting, I agree that he's batting too low. He quite often gets stuck with the tail, where then he has no support from the other end, and that's why he sometimes plays a silly shot trying to move the game forward and gets out. So he should be batting higher, I agree, but his keeping is not helping him at the moment.
Well, surprisingly, he needs one more dismissal and he equals Sangakkara, and he moves into equal second place overall for Sri Lanka ever. And he's only a further 5 away from the keeper Joe Wagner, and he goes into the lead for the country in test keeping. So his record's better than what we've seen the last meeting. He's been a bit off, because normally he is a better keeper.
He's a proper keeper. He's not just a batsman who's make up
No.
He's a proper keeper who can bat as well. So that's my disappointment, that if his keeping starts to drop off, then Sri Lanka will start to look elsewhere, because that would be disappointing, because I like the guy. He's a genuine keeper and can bat.
Well, I mean, if you know, during the school years, he was out as the best batsman in the country. Right? He scored 5, 6, 7 centuries in the season. He was phenomenal, to be honest. But he was aggressive back then. I think I told you the moment when I've told you about it. All right, let's go back. So Baram's been crapping on about today's removed all CSK posts from Twitter. Who cares? Baram, who cares? I mean, I don't think that means anything. I think that's overreaction city.
Whoever's going to give him money, he's going to go and play being favourable. Do you remember second year of IPL? Rajasthan Royals had him contracted on a rookie for 2 years. So he went behind the back and trying to land a deal with Dhoni CSK. He was banned on 2019 IPL just because he got more money. He breached the contract with Rajasthan Royals. He's won the premiership with Rajasthan Royals. He breached Rajasthan Royals contract, trying to land a contract with CSK. He was banned 1 year. So it's a money game. If someone else is throwing money at him, he'll go. Which I don't blame him for that.
Yeah.
It's that's what franchise cricket is all about. It's about you got to look after your personal interest first. So if he's removing CSK post, I think he's moving, or they're going to move him away. So I'm sure he'll pick up another franchise. But his breakup from Rajasthan Royals, I know from my experience, was bitter because everyone thought we looked after him coming in from under 19s. He was looked after, and he got his first exposure of being a real good cricketer at Rajasthan Royals, and that's where he should have kept his loyalty for the 2-year contract that he had. So
well, they're already making a DRS, by the way. There's a DRS decision gone already. I think the first or so ball, they're going upstairs about it. Look, you're right. It is money driven. Yeah, I mean, you get a person like Kohli and perhaps Rohit Sharma and Dhoni who stay with the one club, but of course they're getting paid a snootful to stay there.
But they're icon players. You look at in Australian system. We've had in Brisbane Heat. Chris Lynn been icon player for all those years. All of a sudden, the franchise and Chris Lynn decided to fall apart, and it's very hard to understand Lynn playing for another franchise. For the last 11 years, he's played for Brisbane Heat, and he's been the icon player. So it's money driven. At the end of the day, you've got to look after your personal interest.
Yeah. They're saying Himanshu Rahel is saying, can he break his top score? He could well be. Not all his pitched outside off, it's hitting outside off, and that's it. He's not out.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think. I can't see Himanshu. I can't see Smith getting 235.
It'd be interesting as I asked Norman that question: how well Sri Lanka will start after day one's, the battle around the day. If they start off with that mindset of okay, we're going to go defense first and then attack, I think they'll lose this test match in 3 days. But they got to keep the mix of attack and defense. Otherwise, they'll just allow Smith to settle in first half an hour, and then Smith can go big.
Oh look, Sri Lanka have got nothing to lose now. They've already lost the first match. They could draw the series, so yes, and they're behind the 8 ball here. They need to have. I maintain that I would have Gunaratne opening, and I would put Well open with him to bowl some. Who's other openers
for Sri Lanka?
The first drop.
Yeah. So
who's other opener? Oh, Pisson. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. But then again, you got to find that happy medium. I think currently, as Dick Wallace stuck in that lower middle order, I think they don't want to, as you see, the batting order is very similar to last time as well, last Test match as well. They don't want to. It seems that they don't want to change the batting order at all. They just want to keep trying, and if push comes, they'll just drop Dickwalla. I think that's where they're heading, because I don't see his role changing in second innings to go up the order. But I think if his keeping drops off, I think they'll go with another keeper rather than keeping him.
But you look at the Sri Lankan batting line. Gunaratne, 5 contested, very successful. This person, Sanka, is also looking very good. Castle Mendes, he's hit quite a lot of runs already. Matthews, 6,000 plus runs. Dennis Chandimal, well, he used to be better. And then there's Josh Nicola. They've got a really good number of they've got a really good core of players there.
Exactly right.
But I don't know.
It's just not clicking. I hope that now they've got a new coach in the box as well. So I hope that that's what my initial hope was. New coach, new voice in the changing room that could turn things a little differently. But for white ball, you can see it is different. But for the red ball, it still hasn't translated. So you probably see how they respond against Pakistan, because Pakistan has already arrived in Sri Lanka. They're playing first practice game, and then post this test match, this the Pakistan Sri
When
Lanka
is the
series.
test? Over this month, isn't it?
Yeah. It's after this one, so I think it's next week. I'll have a look, but yeah, so that would be very interesting how Sri Lanka translate from this series into next one, and if they make any change, that would be the time to test it against Pakistan, because Pakistan against really turning pitches will be tested. It won't be easy for Pakistan to just walk over Sri Lanka.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
Steve Smith is 110 now.
Yep.
Are you getting vision?
Yeah, I've got vision. So Sri Lanka, Pakistan first test match is 16th of July, and I think that's at Galle. Yes, it is. And then the next test match, Galle. Sorry, next one is in Colombo. So they've got two different venues, and Colombo probably will suit Pakistan more than Galle. I think they'll. Yeah, that's my thinking. That's where Pakistan will be thinking, if they can survive the spin attack in first test, they can probably win the second.
I'll tell you what, that left arm bowl. So whether they're playing the first test, Pakistan, Galle, where's the second?
Colombo.
Okay, where in Colombo?
Hang on.
Why be Premier us? Right?
Yeah, PSS.
PSS. That's Oval. PSR Oval. It's not. Premier us is normally used for the short form for some reason.
It's the other oval that they have.
PSR Oval.
Yeah.
Tamil Union ground. It's quite a boutique ground.
It is.
I rather like that ground. It's got Bradman history inside that venue. Because what Bradman apparently did play the muck around that there, which was never recorded. Which I'm very intrigued about.
A lot of history.
So it was a touring. Okay. New Zealand struggling at the moment. Pakistan lose home. Look, Pakistan should not be underrated. I think that their World Test Championship aspirations are certainly there.
Now that India have lost to England, and they've already also been docked 2 points. Remember that put India behind Pakistan. So Pakistan's currently a couple of points ahead of India. So Pakistan, if they're fair income, if they want to play a Test Championship final, they've got to win Sri Lanka. They've got to win home against England. And I think they've got New Zealand as well. So they've got to win their next 3 series to be able to really contest. And if Australia does well in India, that will put in Australia and Pakistan into contention, because I know England will give tough time to South Africa, and Australia will have an upper hand on South Africa.
Australia is
So they've got 2 tough series within this year, within this summer coming up, our summer. So they've got Australia, they've got England. That's really good, 2 tough series. So they lose those series, they'll be behind. So it will then put Pakistan in India into a contention. So then whoever wins in the subcontinent will actually play against Australia.
I think, in my opinion, we haven't seen series yet. I think Australia played England left it too late. New Zealand left it too late. Yeah. India's not really shown their wares.
Yeah.
So yeah, Australia 5 for 300.
Yeah.
After 90 12.
It's
Quite a lot of we know that Smith Labuschagne had 134 run total, but Quadra Labuschagne also.
Yeah. It seems like the ball is doing a little bit. That's why the last two deliveries, if you see, the ball has swung late. Whether it is a little bit of reverse or not, because it's still relatively, it's definitely swung into the left-hander, and it's gone with the shine as well. So whether they've started the ball going this early, it is interesting to see how they go. Go with this ball, continue to swing and trouble the left-hander, because they definitely have got the ball going. And all three deliveries, if you see the last three deliveries, they've come with the shine. Carey is beaten on the two, and that's what indicating me that they've got the ball going. So they're working hard on the ball, keeping the shine. It's only 12 overs old that ball is. So it's relatively hard. But the thing is, if it starts going and they control it well, they could be up for a couple of wickets early up. But that's depending how well they bowl.
They're not giving any grief for Smith's point.
No.
The pitch looks like it has settled a little bit.
Pitch than last. I saw a comment you put up on screen as well. It's definitely better pitch than last Test match, where it was spinning and spinning and staying low and doing all sorts from day one onwards. But obviously this pitch hasn't. So it's interesting how they control the flow of runs from here.
Well, it just means that function bat well. Honestly, I have no excuse.
I'm not understanding the field place. They've got one slip and then mid-off. The whole of cover is free for Smith to lean back and cut. And this is what. And when you drop half a fraction of a ball short, he's so good on his feet to rock back and place the ball through that cover. And that's what he did first ball. Just placed it to extra cover and got two. So that's where my thinking is. I don't know what line they'll bowl. What is their thinking? Because they've still got point and cover open for Smith, and they want him to hit through leg stump, and they've packed onside and bowling a touch shorter. He'll cash in. The first half an hour is what you got to get Smith out. Otherwise, he'll bat long. He'll continue to score runs, and they continue to keep bowling on his legs, and he'll keep milking those runs through fine leg, through cover, through point. It's got to be on front foot, trying to get him driving. That's the only thing that you're going to get Steve Smith, because using his depth really well, and he's using the spin, playing with the spin really well. And
they're not attacking. They should start the day's play with a very attacking field and attempt to go nearly wicket, because the batsmen, despite having scored a century, usually they're rawest this morning. First thing, I would have had it. A lot of sides go to this immediate defensive field setting based on what the score is. In my opinion, they should give 4 or 5, 10 overs full on attack. Okay, they'll leak runs, so they could take wickets.
And that's a very good point, because you still have 300 runs on board, 5 down. All of a sudden, you pick up a couple of wickets. You can wrap this innings up before 350. But if you allow easy singles, strike rotation, the first half an hour, it's a fresh start. As you know, as a batter, Norman, it's nothing worse than going in and being nervous. And all of a sudden, you get some easy runs, and here you go. You got a good start, and that keeps going. And that sweep shot, what I was talking about, Smith's just hit that behind square, and that's what I was talking about. 2 areas that they've swept really well is one behind square and 2 in front of square towards mid wicket. They've either gone hard sweep or in front sweep. So anything that is straighter, that was middle and leg and probably going missing leg stump, he's just put his pad down and swept hard behind square for 4. If this was outside his eye line, fuller, he would have swept that towards deep mid wicket, cow corner. And that method has worked, and that has forced them, the Sri Lankan bowlers, to bowl 2 straight to him. And that's why there's no fielders at point, no fielders at cover. There's easy singles, easy strike rotation. And for a batter, it's nothing better for them to keep rotating the strike and not stuck at one end. And that's, unfortunately, last 3 overs has been the case, that they've easily rotated strike, and all of a sudden they're looking really good.
Now, Sri Lanka have only used in their some 93 overs, they've used 4 bowlers. they've got this Kamindu, I've forgotten his last name, I think it's Mendes. He apparently is like Dunn sort of a bowler. Now, why haven't they used their fifth bowler? I don't understand that. Especially once you've already had 93 overs, it's well and surely you need to bowl that other bowler to break it up for one reason, if not another. I'm confused why you would then have a man in there who's meant to be. They're showing him on screen. They're showing him a lot on screen, by the way, which is implying that they're bringing the attention to why isn't he bowling?
Exactly, and everyone else have bowled in excess of 15 overs. Everyone, and obviously Mendes have bowled 30 overs. Jasuri has bowled 28. Rajiv has bowled 20. So they're tired. It's not easy to back it up from day one in a comparatively sunny day. It's still hot. It's not comfortable weather there. To be able to go 90 overs for the four guys and then come and back it up. And especially when the guys are rotating strike, you're not set to bowl one bowler. You're not building dots on that one particular batter. So it's hard. It's hard work. So I think Sri Lanka need to get their plan right. If they don't, in this next half an hour, there'll be 500 runs on board and they'll be losing this test by innings.
Now, look, the Bastards have made this comment about the in and out fields set. In the short format, I agree. But
look, I don't mind the format, but you got to understand which line you're bowling. So for spinner, if you look at his field placing, he's got a deep sweeper on offside, and he's got slip and mid off. That's three fielders, and he's got point and cover open, and he's bowling off spin, just dropping a length short. It's easy single for Smith. Then he's got a short leg, he's got a leg slip, he's got a deep square, he's got mid wicket, he's got mid on. He's got all these fielders on leg side with packed leg side. Where is he trying to bowl? What is he trying to get out of Smith? He's trying to bowl that negative line where Smith doesn't score. Whereas if he bowls that just touch outside his eye line, try and spin the ball back into the stumps and hit the stumps, bring one fielder over across into covers, stop his single, and get him to take a chance against the spin to cut or drive. Otherwise, he'll get in line, take a single, drop the ball in that open space, keep rotating strike. So you got to understand what your bowler is trying to do and what is best for the team. 311 on the board, and you keep allowing them singles pretty much at will. It's going to be first half an hour, as Norman said earlier. First half an hour is the most nervous time for a batter to go. Okay, well, I'm starting fresh. I'm starting new. My feet are not moving, and that's where you're going to get something silly shot or an edge. But they haven't done that in first 4 overs. What we've seen so far.
Yeah, the batsmen who are most vulnerable, even if they've got potential, in the first hour, even 2 hours, on their next day, because it's literally like they're batting completely It's very hard to keep up form overnight. You can't do. So yeah.
Disappointing. Norman, I've got to go. I've got to go to the train.
All right. Thank you, most of you.
And I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you, Moses.
Thank you for your audience as well. Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Ciao. Yeah, well, there you go. It was great insightfulness from Moses, having had experience with the IPL, the Indian saga. Also had experience with a number of the Sri Lankan players. Very much aware of the tactics and what's going on. And I'll repeat myself, this is very unusual. If you've got a fifth bowler on the side that's been selected to do that, as does Dhananjaya, and does it very well, why haven't you used him? We're into the 94th over. 300 runs on the board. If you aren't using the fifth bowler well, something's really wrong. What are you saving him for? I don't get that. So I should throw him on even for a few overs just to first of all, get him into the game, and secondly, just test the batter's mentality to a new bowler, and especially early on day 2. Smith is just cruising. He's been allowed to cruise. The field placements, even the bowling itself, hasn't been threatening. And they can threaten. You put a stacked field for the first 5 overs, like you do for the last 5 overs of the day when you put pressure on a batsman when they close up. The same should happen Early start of a new day. Even they may leak a 4 here or there, it's okay. Here comes Jar Surya. Peru, facial now. The outfield is very green, but very patchy too. And Sri Lanka continues to have this horrific shortage of petrol, gas, as in fuel, food, medical supplies. Becoming a real problem. Transportation is zero. There's no public transport. There's no petrol. We're suffering in Australia too. We've got huge petrol prices, but they haven't even got the luxury really to buy anything at the moment. Jaisurya's got 3 for 90. We can take a look from this stuff. Great example where they could have had a Sleeman on in place. Ball did pop there. Aussies will whitewash South Africa, totally agree. Lanka's batting to suffer, struggled, I agree. One cap was like this. I know, yeah, it's really concerning. Yeah, we aren't exactly setting the world on fire at the moment. Let's just see what's going on. Five for 3-1-3 into the 95th over. Australia are literally cruising. And it's not really due to their great batting. It's more to do with the non-changed circumstances. Nothing's really changed here, which is rather a pity. Really is a pity. And Carey's just reverse sweeping like there's no tomorrow. And it's just become a bit of a joke, isn't it? Really has. Reverse sweeping has become so much of a norm these days. This is day 2. Yeah, very ordinary. He proved me wrong. Who proved me wrong? What do you mean, Sam? Who he proved me wrong? You mean Labuschagne Smith? Who? We've got some messages here. We thought Angelo Matthews and Dimitri will 12 hard, okay. Bus add New Zealand to Pakistan too. Baram, if you're there, come on. Jesus, he proved me wrong. Who proved you wrong, Sam? Is it? You're talking about Smith and the like, or who are you talking about? Explain to me who you're talking about. That comment there. Just explain to me what's going on. So we've got Smith on 126. Smith's made he's sort of throwing his on the ground. He's moving out of his wicket. Australia 5 for 322 into the 96th over, the first ball bowled. Smith on. You mean Alex Carey? Yeah, look, he's doing okay. He's not a Gilchrist, nor is he a Haddon. Tim Payne, he's probably a touch better than him in the batting department at the moment. But yeah, he's not going to be a well-winning player. Let's just see what the story is here. At 5 for 322. It's a long way from for Sri Lanka to go, but they've got the batters that can do a lot better. Labuschagne sitting there with his shirtless top. I'm sure he thinks he's got muscles. It's Alex Carey. Look, I actually do still think Josh Inglis is a better proposition. More exciting than Carey. Carey's very steady. Alex Carey is almost a Tim Payne like-for-like replacement in a way. The bromance of Labuschagne and Smith is ridiculous. Australia's to me done pretty well against the opposition that's just simply not here. You've got to give it to the Australian team, the supportive of their players. But they're deemed to be the best team in the world. But they have beaten Pakistan. They're beating Sri Lanka. Have a big test in India. And of course, at home against South Africa and the West Indies, they'll murder those two teams. They're in the World Test Championship final almost certainly. It'll only be South Africa will fall away. I'm convinced that Pakistan will come into the fore with India. It was a very full ball outside of Camacho. What the hell is it? Just really Cameron. Well, he played well the first test. He can't go all the time. Travis Head has failed in both matches. Remember that. Despite getting his 4 wickets, which is not what he's there for. He's right in the slot there. Carey drove very well, having been given the perfect ball. Himanshu Rahul, how many accounts have you got? You've got different icons. I wouldn't mind. Yeah, you put faces against your icons, guys. I see H for Himanshu and Sam's got an S, but just the green. It'd be nice if you had a face there. I could see who you are. You drove beautifully there, Kerry. "96 overs gone. No runs. Sorry, 28 runs have been added. 5 for 326 after 96. Charles Suarez 3 for 99. It's bowled well, but could perhaps more of an attacking field placement, which he hasn't got. All right, guys, we seem to be people are going in and out of the show at the moment, and I can understand that it's rather a lull in the game itself. Sri Lanka has not heeded the warnings. They haven't changed their tactics. They haven't been more aggressive. Not doing anything different. It's not good. Jayasuriya. Again, Hazaranka. Why don't I give him a go? I don't know why he's one of their star bowlers. A bit edgy. H.G. Ackerman and Brad Haddon are the two commentators. Brad Haddon must be enjoying himself in Sri Lanka. It's a good gig getting to Sri Lanka, I tell you. Good gig. Smith is playing well away from his pad. In no danger. He hasn't got anyone around him at all. Clives at 37, Warner 5, Undershane 104, Smith bowled out 126, Head 12, Green 4, Carey 27. So really two batters have carried. 3 have failed. A 74-run partnership. Rogers is coming in the bowl around the wicket. Not posing any problems at all. Tonight, of course, India play England yet again in the T20 format. Or was it the 50 over? Just trying to think what it was. It's T20. And England were basically outplayed by the Indian side that looked in damn good form. Quite surprisingly, England didn't get anything on the board properly. Sneyd made 200 plus. He could be the top 2 batting rankings. Oh well, how does that work out? I'm not sure how that works out. Down the leg side there, an easy clipping. There's a man down there. Smith's not going to be leaving the wicket any soon. I'm soon. "98th over brings you here. Score is 5 for 327. So roughly 3 1/4 an over. This partnership's gone on far too long. I need to take a wicket. Wide ball there, easy pickings for Smith. There's a man out there. Marnus Labuschagne says that this one will gain his Ashes 19 form. Well, if he's playing a series of test matches after this, yes. But they're not really got the momentum going. They're not playing. Who are they playing next in Test cricket? They might, is it in India? If it is, and the concentration of the next 100 days will be on T20 cricket, you can imagine. They may not be allowed to keep the form going. So that might be the only problem. They're playing, obviously, South Africa and West Indies and Australia, playing India soon too, and again Pakistan somewhere along the line, I believe. Maybe over the next 12 months. We're playing Zimbabwe and whoever in between as well. So not a lot going on. Okay. So Australia, 5 for 328 after 98 overs. Carey's on 28 not out. Steve Smith is on 127. Richards just bowled that one for 67 or 23. It's commendable figures. Less than 3 runs over. It's pretty good. I'm actually waiting for Zimbabwe or New Zealand ODIs because of Cameron Green. Okay. Where are they being played? Are they being played in Zimbabwe or are they played? I don't know where they're being played. I could even be Northern Australia, maybe up in Cairns or Darwin, perhaps. Smith's sending the ball very easy, and there's no pressure field placement wise at all. Jayasuriya's gone to his 100. 3 for 100. Smith 128. Is Alex Carey he's facing created a new line for the bowler, meaning that they're going around the wicket or perhaps over the wicket? He's going around and he's immediately reverse sweep and he's out. Pretty poor shot, really. I don't like this reverse sweep rubbish. Anyway, Jayasuriya's got his 4th wicket. Carey's caught at, well, what is virtually a deep cover. A point, playing a rather ordinary shot for 28. Australia 6 for 329. Jayasuriya having taken his 4th wicket. Ramesh Mendes taking the catch. His favourite shot brought him downfall. Yes, it did show up. Joe plays it far too often, if you ask me. Now, very importantly, if Sri Lanka can wrap this last 4 wickets up for less than 20 runs or something like that, we could be in for a slightly, well, it certainly doesn't even the game, but it gives Sri Lanka some chance. They'll then bat accordingly, which is that's the big question. Thali Raj looks very cute. I don't give her that much. She does look cute. Bit chubby. Mr. World. I don't know who these players are. It's quite ridiculous. Anyway, pitch still looks good to bat. Lanka needs to pick good, quick wickets. I think they do. See, now, hang on, that's probably not straight enough. This is where Sri Lanka should be crowding the bat. They should be absolutely crowding the bat. Bringing up whatever they can to create stars come in. No reason whatsoever. All right. Smith is there and he's just beaten the short foot in. Line and Swepson will rip Sri Lanka, except Prabhath. All Sri Lankan Aussies give loose balls. Yeah, I don't know whether they'll rip through them. And if Sri Lanka bat to their ability, they should be able to, give it some sort of credit here. Should they bring Ramesh Mendes into the attack now from the other end? Yes, they should. They need to have a strong, condensed field placement around the bat. And they've only got one side covered, giving the batter the option to hit the ball the other way. Simple as that. 99 overs gone, 331 the score for 6. Smith 129, Stark on 1. Jayasuriya has 4 for 102 off 31 overs. So Himanshu Rahela reckons 200's a big score on this pitch. It's not necessarily. In the latter innings, maybe. That was a pretty ordinary shot, really. A dolly to the fielder. There was nothing on there. If you hit the ball, I think it'll hit it on the ground. Rajita 160. I would have brought Ramesh Mendes from the other end as well. Good delivery. No luck's gone Sri Lanka's way. Let's be honest. It was a good back foot drive there, very Steve Waugh-like. I think that was single. Nice Dickler needs one more dismissal, court stumped, whatever he would take, to make him equal with Sangakkara, therefore put him in second spot at all-time dismissals. Only Joe Wonder, the keeper, who's won 56 dismissals, so he's 150 at the moment. 151 is Sangakkara. And he's 6 wickets to equal the first guy. Smith 130. Fact is, Sri Lanka bowlers give 6% 4 tosses. Well, yeah, some loose balls, that's for sure. Glenn Maxwell there, sitting there, unused. I would have had him in the side. A little bit uppish. If Stark's going to go in a position and score 3-3-2 for 6, he should be just going for it. That's what I would have thought. He straight ahead it, didn't go anywhere. Let's just see. Stark facing the 100th, well, the last ball, the 100th over. Wide as hell. The run rate's 3.32. Who's coming on now? This session, first session of the day, 34 runs in a hit for the loss in 1 wicket, 10 overs gone. Smith looks very confident there on 6 for 3-3-2. Oh, that looks out. That looks out. What's wrong with it? And why is that not out? That looks out to me. There's no bet on that. I would have reviewed that. Review it for God's sake. That looked plumb to me. No one's reviewing it. It's not a handyman side along. There we have it. Starks nicked it to first, slipped, and Muth has taken a good catch. It was a Castle Mendes actually took the catch. It's a 5 for Joe Wilder, Joe Sabria, that is, on his first match. It's a good committal effort, 503. He's got Stark Corby at first slip, Castle Mendes for 1. So there's 7 for 3-3-3. Ball came straight on and took a good catch. We need to find desperately consistent white ball openers. I think Warren should be rest in upcoming white ball matches. We should try McDermott, Josh Phillip opens, or even Josh Inglis. Yeah, let's just hope they do that. I hope they realise that situation. Cummins is coming out. Sam Hislop, you've got a fair point there. Well, no, that's a good point. It was a good catch. Very good catch. Seven for 3 into the 100th first over. Stark was last to get up for 1. Taking an age to bowler's first delivery. Oh, there was a catch, and it was probably just had to reach the first. It was a fairly casual way of fielding, actually. That was great. He flicked the ball back and said the bloke's on the leg. Well, what's the point of following through if you're going to hit the guy on the leg? Well, if you're following the fielder that's getting the ball, you stay sufficiently far away for that very thing. Seven for 3-3-7. Smith on 131. Cummins got a lucky, streaky shot through his slip for 4. Off the mark again. For Walton off the mark, but that was a more comfortable looking off drive. Okay, we're going to just try and see whether we can get a wicket here again. That was probably not on the stumps enough. Just a bit outside leg stump, I'm afraid. Jayasuri has taken 5 wickets. Now we're into the 101 overs have gone. 338 the score for 7. Smith 131, Cummins 5. They've only got Swipson and Lyon in the tank. Important if they do take departures. What have you said? Sam, Hazlett, Ben McDermott, and Head future. No, I will not be putting Travis Head as a regular opener. I'm sorry. Over my dead body. Future over my foot. Future over my foot. There we go. Good stuff. There we go. Oh, how did that miss the stumps? Oh, Jesus. Ben McDermott maybe an opener, but I don't think we'll see. Oh, ever so close. Oh, I really deserved to have bowled him, actually. Went very, very close. Smith 131, Cummins 5. That delivery was 131 Ks. I just got 1 for 68 off 20, nearly 25th. After 101.2 overs, we have 338 for 7. Head's ODI average is 40, but not it was not opening. He's out. He has to be out. It has to be out. That has to be out. LBW, come on. What was wrong with that? That should be out. I'll be going upstairs for that. I'd say out. I'd say that's out. That looks out to me. I go upstairs. Review taken. Okay, that looks out to me. Yeah, that's out. Has to be out. Yeah. It looks so plumb to me. With the naked eye, it looked plumb. So Australia added 40 this morning and lost 3 wickets. If Sri Lanka can get these last couple of wickets out now, around this total, it's back on a relatively even keel. And Sri Lanka have done this with 4 bowlers. They have not used the 5th bowler, which is at all. Let's just look at. Same as every ODI team prepares for. They don't prepare for. It's just drop-in pitches very often. So Australian score clip along there, 8 for 338. Nathan Lyle coming now. Sri Lanka and Pakistan should go be a big one. I'll cover that. So that's the curry, okay. When were you saying that? Yeah. I was saying that Labuschagne is a big flop in the subcontinent, but he proved he can also play 10 matches in the subcontinent. Yes, it's true. Rohit Sharma, Sri Lanka Pakistan should be an absolute thrill. I hope so. I think Pakistan should win it. Sri Lanka favours against Pakistan. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't agree with that. The current form's shite. 8 for 338. Yeah. The old bowler Jayasuriya taken 5 wickets, very proud of himself. Mine's steered it down to third man or backward point. Labuschagne no longer a young batsman. He's played a number of test matches. Scored 7 centuries. Smith's got a bit of strike now, or at least one ball. Australia 8 for 339. Way down the leg side, clipped away quite nicely. .340, Smith on 132. Get line aside, get the wicket. Psychologically, below 350 will be a mini victory to Sri Lanka. They've used 4 bowlers, 25, 30, 15 and 32 overs respectively. Tekshan has only bowled 15 overs, which is pretty underdone. He went for 3 and over, whereas the other bowlers have gone well. Actually, just slightly better. Jake Weatherall's better than Brett Travers said. I would agree with that. Subject Bahara, if a debutant has taken 5 wickets on this pitch, then it's going to be tough for Sri Lanka with Australia having swept in the line. Do I agree? No, I don't think so. I think that they basically undervalued them in the first match, so they're going to be more careful, but they're going to play on the aggressive side. And they're going to take to swept in the line more. Big gap there. Actually, crowd line. But the Bashers are not going to go with Ben McDermott in the head. They'll go with one of the Joshes, Inglis or Philippe, before they put headers and open. Just finish this initial. Make it interesting for God's sake. There's enough. It's a rather audacious pull shot, sweep shot. It's pretty well played. He's done it again. This time to the fielder. Just sit down and check your field and get him out. Make it bounce, make him pop it. So that people carry. If not in the test minute, but Jake Toydor should get a chance at ODI or T20s. He has played some good innings in the Big Bash. Big Bash is hardly a stand digger excited about. Shows totally your mind. Head can't play as no, but I totally agree. He's given out. Took a long time to think about that. Jack Weatherall's not being picked for the T20 OD for the World Cup. Sorry. Yeah, that looks out. That looks out. Line's gone. He's walking. Is there a bat there? I don't think that's not an edge. That's not an edge. They're not going any further. They're not showing the stumps. Are they saying that he's nicked it? Well, I didn't think he nicked it himself. They're not showing the ball track hitting the stumps. Here they are. There they are now. Hitting. That means he's out. Yeah, definitely out. Line's out. So that's 6 wickets for Jai Surya. 345 for 9. This is a bit of a comeback. They're finally 47 this morning and lost 4 wickets. Yeah, I think I'm sure I agree with that. Colonel Ruttons one would be great to see. No chance for Lanka, they will be allowed for 200. All right, let's see whether Corina Ratner hits a 200 score or the total team score. Yeah, so yes, it will be a good match between England and India. That's for sure. So okay. I know you hate Australian cricket team. Wow, Australian batsmen have always been very weak against left-arm spin. Well, it's not far wrong. Best figures for Sri Lankan innings on debut in the series. Praveen Jayawarkar got 6 for 92 against Bangladesh last year. Bultranga got 6 once for Akila Dhananjaya. Okay. Dini got 5 and Praveen. My God, he got a lot of wickets that day. And Prabhath Jayasuri gets 1 more wicket. He will have the best figures ever. No. That's not. Let's just say 345. They need to get rid of this last wicket and finish him off. He's dancing. There we are. Australia are going to get around the 350 mark. Now, Sri Lanka bats to their best of their ability, should be able to match that, but we'll wait and see. You were wrong in guessing the pass score. Well, the pass score was, it's going to be lower in the second innings than in the first, put it that way. 9 for 345. Smith 134. 9 for 346. Smith 134. Shrapson about to face. Sri Lanka's bowlers are pathetic. Well, they're not. On his first down, he got 6 wickets. It's pretty good. They're not being supported very well by the players. Ooh. Option doesn't seem to have much of an idea there. Why aren't they crowding him? I don't understand why they're not crowding him to the help. Pass scores 425. Well, at the moment, the wicket looks that way, yes. So they're a little bit short, but then Sri Lanka have to bat to show us that they're short. Have to wait to see how Sri Lanka goes this week. That's exactly right. And Sri Lanka have done pretty well. They've got taken 4 wickets today for 48. Giants 3 were 2, 4, 6. Rosita 2, then there's 1. Let's just wait and see. There's certainly a bit of a puff on that wicket. Yeah, wait to see how Sri Lanka's their opening, or their innings will go. How are they not bowling? He's got 4 byes. That was pretty poor there from Dickwell. He should be making more of an attempt. He's not getting down on occasions. He's not getting up on occasions. Not the best of efforts. Jayasri should get Smith off strike and attack Swepson. Right, you got Swepson on strike. You've got 3 balls, get him out. Crowd him, just attack the crap out of him. That's what I would do. Crowd him. Yeah, but he hasn't. Taken on the 5th or 4th ball, Subhash. You're comparing world, not Test games with Sri Lanka batsmen. Well, we're not comparing that. It's like I said. Crowd the field, get more people in there, get more in there. Subhash doesn't hate the Australian cricket team, but what are you talking about? Get more flight. Oh, Straps looks so awkward. Good delivery will get him any time. Dying to see all this innings. Then we can start to see how good Sri Lanka are in these conditions. We've only about 10 minutes to lunch. Big mistake from Smith. He should give strike land. Yeah, I think so. I agree. Okay. I like the way he kind of puts his finger, spins it. Come on, Ramesh Mendez, get this wicket now. Get sweat. Put people at sealing it off as well as sealing it, not just have one side covered. Crowd the bat. He's not doing this for blocking. After a long time, Steve Smith scored a century. Now it's high time for Galle also to score. Satwik Bakara, I agree with you totally. Same with Williamson. Take this bloody last week and I want a break. Not taking the singles now. Did he run two? He ran two, Jesus. We did not at all. That's bit and turned. Edel Green should have supported as his first two scores very vital in these conditions. You can't advise Green. He always makes runs, but head is pathetic. Yep. Glad you both agree. Is there a catch going on here? I made a single. There were 2 balls left in the French son's flight. We need to crowd the bat. Oh. All right, so what happens with Head after Ashes series? He didn't get a 50. He's just not a good player. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that. 9 for 355. Extras 15. The 107 is gone. Smith carrying the team now on 139 not out. Swipson not out. No. So, well, this will be a single. And they're running. No, they kept him on strike. Okay. Now they've got a full over at bloody Swipson. Can England play baseball on these pitches here? Been more difficult. Certainly more difficult. Okay. Got 50. They're running twos here. Big fat edge, you should have been caught. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up now. Even though the score is 9 for 359, we literally have 1 minute to lunch. Are they going to lunch or what? We don't know yet. So put the ball down there for a single. Did he run? No. Okay. What this annoys me, this type of betting. Nine for 360. Two hours of this. Charlie only scored 62 runs in the session. Has been agonising, to be quite honest. Crowd both sides. Look at. That's it. Bit more air. Give it more air. Now this would normally be lunchtime. Are they going off? Is this lunch? It looks like it is. No, it's not. Oh, it's time to go off for once. Yeah, look, I agree with what Sebastian's saying, Sebastian. When did the ball go when he was 141 not out? The score was 9 for 360. Not running, so. All right, guys. I can't handle this anymore. 9 for 360. We've gone beyond lunchtime. Expected to be over by now. Charles has taken 6 wickets commendably. Smith's just stuffing around. I don't know what Smith's doing, to be honest. Not taking singles. It's driving me nuts. All right, guys. We'll see each other tomorrow for the next. In fact, later tonight when England play India. All the best.